And in time, it depends on how good your liver is, it depends how good your kidneys are, how long you can last on it until those two organs get damaged, one or the other. And when one or the other gets damaged, you will end up with more disease than you know what to do with. Because those organs are critical.
But the liver can rebuild itself, right?
Yeah, but boy, you damage it. What have you got? That's the organ that really helps cleanse the body and keeps all the poisons out. You start damaging that organ, you get in trouble, and then you're in trouble. The same with the kidneys. Direct related to our fluid balance, the electrolyte balance of the body. Okay, I think I've hit that, and to give you time now, you can get in the book and understand it. Okay?
Oh, okay.
All right. Okay, are you glad we did that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad I spent the time too. I was going to miss that and keep going, but I'm glad we did spend time. Okay. We talked about the Tarahumara Indians down northwest Mexico.
Okay.
Do you know there's a Grand Canyon down in northwest Mexico that's 1,000 feet deeper than the Grand Canyon in Arizona? There's a Grand Canyon. Down the bottom of that canyon, the fruits grow year-round. It's interesting about that. Now, some of the Tarahumaras in that area, some of them are up in the other areas where it's almost a desolate place to be. But this guide was going down to see the Tarahumaras. And as he's coming around, he said, he come over and he said, with him, he said, a 100-year-old woman lives over there, he said, and she carries oranges in a basket on her head and sells them for miles around. We wouldn't sell them for a block around, true or false? True. Health is what? Energy. Now, if we say health is energy and we call them healthy, what are we? That's right. Now, once we understand that, we will never be critical of anybody else, ever. Once we understand that we have those generators shut off, and that we are there, we're in the 1 out of 2 dying of heart disease and 1 out of 3 getting cancer, and nobody knows who's next. You just don't know. And unless we go to work and reverse this thing, it's going to get worse, right? Okay. So we all need help. We all need love and understanding, compassion, and same with everybody else. Those 3 principles of love. Beautiful. Anyway, then this guy said, the 100-year-old woman, then he says, you see those 2 figures up on that big hill up there? They're jogging back and forth. Watch them, he said. And they came closer, and he noticed it was a man and woman. And then as they got closer, still running, they noticed a man carried a baby on his back. And they said, they soon disappeared into the woods. That's Tarahumaras, okay? Did I tell you yesterday about the man that went down and got his car broke down?
No.
I was talking to a fellow in California, and I have a letter over here from him. And he says, I went down to Tarahumaras to visit them, and he says, my car broke down. And they come up and says, well, we can send a runner to Mexico City and get some parts for you. Well, that's about 150 miles away. And the guy said, well, that's 150 miles away. And they said, oh, that's okay. They don't mind going. I mean, the Tarahumaras can run 150 to 200 miles without rest. They run from sunup to sunup. And when during the night, while they run from sun to sun, during the night while it's dark, the men carry the torches, and the women and the children run with them. The Tarahumara, Mexico, they asked him to go down to a 26-mile marathon. Now, that's our longest race, is 26 miles. The chief went over and picked out 3 girls and said, go run it. And when they says, how come 3 girls? He says, well, 26 miles has got to be a race for the women. Okay. Those are Tarahumara. Now, they're not perfect. They've got problems. But if we say health is energy, and we call that health, when I give these equations in Montreal, I told them, my definition for health is not what you're used to talking about. I says, when we get anywhere near to this condition over here, we get close to that dry state, we should be able to run at least 150 to 200 miles without rest. We should take up wings like eagles and run and not be weary, and walk and not faint. That should be the blessing and should be the privilege of anyone who enjoys health. Are you beginning to understand that? That is not a fantasy. That should be a blessing that comes as a result of getting healthy. of having what in our body? Energy, because the body works electrically. And as you get the generators turned on, everything just fantastic, okay? And then we get the point like some of the little Indians do. They give a little hand of chia seeds for the glucose, and they run and get the oxygen in there, and they get the glucose and take the little chia seeds and turn the generators on, and they just run and run and run and run.
Who's that?
The Indians. Take the chia seeds or something, they get a little handful of things, and they get their glucose, and there's the glucose plus the oxygen makes the ATP. The ATP turns the generators on, and they just go, 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 go. Isn't that exciting? You've got to get your system down there, right? So you've got to get it going. Now, I want to say something. The more you do it, the better you feel, and the better you feel, the more you can do it. The more you do it, the better you feel, and the better you feel, the more you can do it. And that's true with all of the techniques, mentally, nutritionally, and physically, right? The more you apply the things, the better you feel, and the better you feel, the more you can do it in all phases. Okay?
How long does it take them to run that far?
From sun up to sun up.
So they don't eat during that time, or they just eat
No.
the chia seeds?
No, they sometimes they run. They just take off. They just go run.
So if you're healthy enough, you don't have to constantly be putting in that.
Well, back there, we made a number of discoveries on here. I'm going to show you the first one, and then we're going to go into some others. But this first discovery is how to use it properly. It took me 5 years to learn how to really use what I call a lymphocyte. What do we call it? Okay. Now, who has discovered that it works now? Dr. Zelikowski from Israel. I sent one to him, and he now has the research. I called him just about a week ago when he agreed to be on our advisory board. He said, yes, I've got research on it. It works. It moves lymphatics. Now we're going to go on and compare it with other things now. Okay? Now, we're looking on page 157. As you notice on page 156, this is called the Run and Walk and Not Faint Lymphocyzing Program. This is what turns you into Tar Hamar Indian. If you learn how to do it right, and you follow the rules, you'll never get tired. You'll never cause stress. And you'll be able to breathe deep and perspire, and never, your body will feel like you're sitting in a chair at all times. Never cause stress, never cause pain. The more you do it, the better you feel, and the better you feel, the more you can do it. The key to healing in the body starts with an E, and the word is endurance. As your endurance increases, are you healing inside? Yes or no? Why? Because health is what? Okay. The key to healing in the body starts with an E, and the word is endurance. But the secret is this. How long can you do it and keep your body feeling like you're sitting in a chair? What's the secret saying? How long can you do it and keep your body feeling like you're sitting in a chair where you never have any fatigue or stress or anything? Well, the secret to healing starts with an E, which is endurance. The secret is how long can you do it and keep your body feeling like you're sitting in a chair? Dr. Van Aken is an MD, but his runners are breaking the world records. He's the only man in the United States that I know of that's teaching people to run on a hard surface properly. But the same laws we obey here, we obey there. They're identical. And he tells his runners, he says, in effect, he says, walk, run, but don't get tired. Now repeat that. Walk, run, but don't get tired. He says, I want endurance. And he says, when I get maximum endurance, how long can you go without getting tired? When I get the maximum endurance, that is, when I get the maximum generators turned on, then I put them in the blocks, and they break the world records. You see, with this research, it makes sense. Okay? Now, we apply the same laws here. Okay? You don't get off page 157. You can go for these 30 minutes with no stress and no fatigue. At least 30 minutes. And I've seen people who are to the point, they go like this, 1, 2, 3, almost to like my head, and they run like mad with 3 jumps, they get sick. There were just 3 movements. They can't stand anything. It's just going, the same people who go, oh dear, don't ask me to breathe. The same people who do that get up here, 1, 2, do the same thing, because this moves lymphatics. Just like that does. This is a lymphocyzer. It moves lymphatics. Lymphatics pulls out the blood proteins. When the blood proteins come through the lymphatic system, that is a very slow-moving system, so all the water goes right back in the bloodstream. And if there's poisons out there, it goes with it, right? Oh, dear. If a 2 or 3 little bounces like that makes a person sick, they need it badly, right? They need it badly. Okay, now, so we're going to stand right here. We go the little, this is just a gentle bounce. Then you can go where you keep your toes on the mat, but you can switch your heels back and forth, like this. But until you can go for 30 minutes, you keep your toes on the mat. Now, you can do anything you want with your body by twisting your arms back and forth, or anything. Breathing deeply, but when you start breathing deeply, watch out. Here's one emphasizer. You start going, you take a deep breath and let that thing go at the same time. And the first time I tried that, I got dizzy. And I says, wow, boy, that moves fluid. It really gets the system going, okay? Now, once you get down where you can go for at least 30 minutes, like this, then you turn the page. This is called the soft walk, okay? This is the walk. Anything where you keep your toes on the mat, we call this the walk, okay? Now, let's say we've got 30 minutes under us. We now have a base on which to build. Any questions on that? We've got 30 minutes under us where we have our body feeling like we're sitting in a chair, no problem. It may take a year to get there. Is it going to be worth it? Yes. My mother was over 80 when I taught her this concept, and she took 6 little bounces and got sick. I said, Mom, take it easy, don't get sick. Just keep going, just take it easy. Pretty quick, she's going to 10. After a week, she's going to 20. About a month, she got to 30. Another month, she got to 50. And then she got to 75. And then she got to 100. Another month, she got up to 200. And then she got to 300. And then 400. And then 500. And then 600. I called the other day, how you doing, Mom? I'm up to 1,000, son. Nice, okay? Now, but we get at least where we can go for 30 minutes with no stress and fatigue. Then we turn the page, go to the soft walk, and to the little jog. Walk around, but don't get tired. You just barely raise the feet up. Now, the minute you feet are back here. I'm resting here now, true or false? Once I've built the 30-minute background, a base to work on, now I'm resting here. I can do this 30 minutes, no problem. Now I go running. Now, the more you do it, come on. The more you do it, the better you feel, the better you feel, the more you do it. The key to healing starts with an E, which is endurance. But the secret is what? How long can you do it and keep your body feeling like you're sitting in a chair? Totally at rest. Never cause stress, never cause fatigue, ever. Your body ought to be always totally at rest, no matter what you do. So take a jog again. Then your feet back here. See, resting here. There's no problem. Then after a while, you can raise your legs higher. And then you can go for the front kick and the side kick. And you just start off easy. Then after a while, you can increase. And increase some more. And many of you are back here. And after a while, you're starting to breathe deeply. You begin to move your lymphatics and flood your blood with oxygen, which is nice. Now, once you get breathing deeply, don't step off. You step off this thing breathing deep, it's just like stepping off a fast-moving truck. Your blood is going too fast. If you step off this thing breathing deep, it'll dilate those blood capillaries and trap those blood proteins and drain the energy right out of you. Stay right here and give yourself time to slow down. Now, even though you're breathing deep, your body is always totally at rest. You should feel nothing. Nothing in the legs. Nothing in the body, regardless. But you're lymphocyzing and breathing deeply, true? Yeah. With no stress and no fatigue. And you cannot duplicate this on a hard surface, true or false? True. You can't do it, not without stress and fatigue. But on here, if you follow the rules, once you build the 30-minute under you, then you're ready. Now, piece of time now. What do you do if the fellow says, My legs are so tired. I can't even stand on the thing, let alone jump on it or do anything else. Well, if it's that bad, what do? You sit down, have him step off and sit down, and you keep going. Now you're still emphasizing. It's your fault. Now some of you back, you want to stand up and watch this. You're emphasizing. Now I'm pushing myself up with my hands and my feet. Okay? Now, this is called the seat bounce. When that gets easy, then you turn the other cheek. Okay? Now, when that gets easy, then you do a call a pony trot. Take the hands off, say, come on, boy, let's go. Attaboy, here we go. None of those cowboys are so darn healthy. All they do is emphasize across the plains. Okay? Now, when this gets easy, you do the Bronco Buster. Now, at the Bronco Buster, you have to have a kick with every buck. And if you miss a kick, you lose points. And you have to say, ho, 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 or else you get tired. And this is how you do it. I challenge anybody here to try it. Ho, 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 ho. I think I made time. I come back here. And now I'm breathing deep. Breathing deeper than ever before. But I feel nothing. My body totally is at rest. Nothing in my legs. Nothing. And here's where the miracle happens. I'm now flooding my blood with oxygen. And here's where you build superhuman strength. How does a little lady, when she steps out, see a little boy underneath the car and lift up that car? Where does the strength come from to build superhuman strength? I'm going to show you. It's when you turn glucose into glycogen. And glycogen is superhuman strength for the body. Let me tell you a little bit about glycogen. There's water, glucose, and glycogen. Water is 18 grams per mole. Let's just say 18 grams right now to make it easy. 18 grams for water. Molecular weight. Glucose is 180. Glucose is 10 times heavier than water. So a gallon of glucose would be like 10 gallons of water. Glycogen, hang on to your chair. Not 18, not 180. Glycogen is 5 million grams or more molecular weight. There's only 454 grams a pound. When I saw 5 million, I says, impossible. Misprint. You mean 180 glucose goes into 5 million glycogen? Woo! I researched it, and it was written out 5 million. I says, wow, you mean it takes about 17,000 molecules of glucose to make 1 molecule of glycogen? You mean a gallon of glycogen would be like 17,000 gallons of glucose or 170,000 gallons of water? Wow, that's heavy stuff. It's almost like a neutron star. When glucose turns into glycogen inside the cell, and every cell can store glycogen, especially muscle cells. When glucose turns into glycogen, the glycogen is so heavy it drops out as a solid mass, just like a little BB, a little rock inside that cell. Just sitting there, ready to take off like an atomic bomb. A solid mass of energy. Now, yesterday we talked about 4 molecules of ATP being reproduced in the absence of oxygen. You remember? Watch how it works. The little lady steps out of the house. She sees a little boy in the car. She says, we've got to lift it. So the adrenal gland puts off epinephrine. The epinephrine makes the glycogen turn loose of the glucose. All all that glucose hits the cells at the same time, you get 17,000 molecules of glucose turn loose in those cells, and you get 4 molecules of ATP in the absence of oxygen, and you've got yourself an earthquake, a volcano, and it's room when you lift up that car. It'll last for a maximum of 2 minutes. When that's over, all your reserve energies are shot. You feel like you're half dead. Now, I want you to know, for the last several minutes, when I did that, I was converting glucose into glycogen. And I feel better now than when I first started. Everything I have done up to this point was just to prepare me for exercise. That was warm-up, everything. On a stress test of muscle strength, I'm about 20% stronger now than when I started. I feel much stronger in the legs, much stronger in my body. Now I'm ready to exercise. Now I'm not going to go through a 45-minute routine to show you what I mean, but let me demonstrate just a small part of it, okay? Where you can go and breathe deep, perspire, and never get tired, never. You start a little jog. Now you begin and you start to increase. And the way I do this is I want to build it up where I'm breathing deeply again, then I slow it down a bit. I don't get out, I never get tired. I just want to start flooding my blood with oxygen again to convert some more glucose to glycogen, okay? You got it in there. You got a lot of reserves in there. And you speed up until you can't go any faster. Once you go as fast as you can, you come back here and you're breathing deep again. I'm flooding my blood with oxygen, converting glucose into glycogen. My body feels like I'm still feeling in a chair. I feel absolutely nothing. Now, what you say? Let's go do it again. This is a crazy thing because I don't know where my end point is. I have never reached it. I mean, I run and come back, run and come back, and run and come back, and run and come back, and I never get tired. It may be from sun up to sun up. I'm never tired. I never get tired. Now I'm going to breathe deep again. I come back here and rest. So I do this for hours. There's no problem here. I'm resting here. This is the rest point for me. I'm resting. And still emphasizing true pulse. Flooding my blood with oxygen, moving the lymphatics. But with absolutely no stress, no fatigue in my body whatsoever. Can you understand? I'm beginning to perspire now. Can you understand? I can run and come back and go till I'm sopping wet with no fatigue in my body. Yes or no? Yes. It took 5 years using this thing every single day to learn how to do this. I finally realized I discovered a technique that if I followed certain laws, I never got tired. What a fantastic feeling it is to know how to exercise with no fatigue in your body. Now, when you want to quit, you start slowing down. I'll show you how I slow down. It's just like a little racehorse. You don't stop a horse after a race all at once. And if you run a long race, you give yourself time to slow down, right? You just don't stop. You want to get your breathing back down to normal before you step off. You notice during this whole program, my voice has been normal. Even though I've been breathing deeply and perspiring. My voice remains normal, which means I am totally at rest. When you get tired, your voice changes. So I've been talking all the way through this. And my voice has been normal all the way through the whole thing. It is so exciting. right. When you finish, there is no fatigue in your body. Exciting. Yeah. You like that? Yes.
Is that enough exercise for the day then?
Well, the more you do it, the better you feel. So you can do it as often as you want, sure. The more you do it, the better you feel. And do you want to go for endurance? How long can you do it and keep your body feeling like you're sitting in a chair, you see? If you have the time, put it in, yes.
Would you monitor your blood pressure as you do this? For some
Well,
people that would be, you know, physically not able to do that.
Okay, what I'm saying is, if you follow these laws, you don't have to worry. If you follow the rules, you never cause stress, never cause fatigue, you never get tired. You never have to worry. It's only when you overexert. But in this system, you never overexert because you never get tired. The minute you feel any fatigue or stress whatsoever, you're back here. In all of your exercise, you never get tired. So your body stays like you're feeling in a chair. So if you follow the rules, you can't get hurt. No matter what. Even if a person is 65 or 80 years old, they take 6 jumps, they get tired, and they quit. Come back like this. The more you do it, the better you feel. Until you build, and as you build a half hour, now you got a base to work on, right? Then you go a bit more, but you never get tired. Follow me? Yes.
Well, it was a secret to success there, then push it until you get quite winded and then back it off.
No, yeah, what I do is I don't push. I just go until I get breathing deep again, then I come back and rest. I go and my object is to get myself breathing deep, to start pulling in air, flooding my blood with oxygen while I'm moving my lymphatics, while I'm breathing deeply, moving the lymphatic system, cleansing the system, and yet keeping my body, because if you cause stress, you're damaging cells, right? True? And when you damage cells, you're going to cause the problem you're trying to get rid of. But if you keep your body feeling like you're sitting in a chair, you're never damaging cells. All you're doing is cleansing and building.
The only thing, Russ, I've done this for about 7 years, and when I go to Jerry's class or see her, I don't have good flexibility. That's why I just wondered, does that mean anything in-house to be real flexible?
Go to gymnastics class. I'll get you flexible dance class.